Volume's all good.
Yeah, I'm on it. You should just make sure my volume's turned down.
Right. One viewer, I assume that's you.
Probably, it's just loading up. You put hello.
Hello.
You picking up my language, that's so cute. Yeah, I'm watching it now.
So then, good evening everybody.
I am Wren.
I am Rhodes, and welcome to episode 8 of the Wren Rhodes show. Hope everyone had a good Christmas.
Holidays in general.
Yeah, like we took a month off. Obviously, we don't want to be streaming every other fucking day. So, but we're back. As you can see, we've got a lot to talk about. Some stuff quite controversial. Other stuff. I promise there will be some fun. We will talk about stuff that is not like either fascism or the opposite.
Yeah, you would hope.
Yeah, actually, that thumbnail seems very sort of like. Doesn't it seem very like light and dark? Like, you know, sort of like, not literally, I mean sort of like you've got fuck fascism on one side, as in like the Holocaust Memorial thing, and then you've got the fascism for the win party time.
Literally fascism on the other side, yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody's aware. Which one do you want to start with?
I think we should start with the one that's of more... Start with the shitter one, I would say. Start with the one that's the most depressing.
They're both arguably shit. I mean,
one
of them is the worst thing that's ever happened in human history, and the other one is like a bad year for Britain.
I personally think we should get the Holocaust Memorial one done first, because it just feels really disrespectful to talk about that after talking about fascists.
Hang on, just keep him busy. I think I need to change resolutions.
Oh, okay. She's tinkering, folks. She's clicking things.
Because we changed it for the last stream.
We did.
Which one was it again? I'm a fucking idiot.
It'll be in... Oh, wait, no, you don't need... It'll be in video, won't it? Where the resolution is.
Oh, yeah.
It seems fine. It's probably just the stream having a bit of a moment. It does that sometimes.
No, it's giving me a warning.
It's done that before, I'm sure.
How does it look on the phone? Is it fine? Because if so, I can ignore it.
It looks fine. I could see it. It looks fine.
I don't think I can change it anyway, because while you're streaming, you can't.
Yeah,
really
we'd have to stop
settings.
the stream to change the settings. So fuck it.
As long as audio is fine, we're all good. No one's watching though, so. So anyway, yeah, Boris Johnson is a man, who is the leader of our country. He basically greased his way up the pole, becoming like a journalist. Didn't he? Like, he was
fired from being a journalist multiple times
he
for
wrote,
lying.
He wrote some horse shit, fascist bullshit in some papers. And then he wrote like something in favour of Brexit and then against it, because he's like a fucking fence sitter who likes to just kind of
flip-floppy bullshit.
Yeah,
whatever makes him
whichever's
popular.
like more advantageous to him, he'll take that side. So he did that. And he's pretty much been the fucking fluffer for Brexit ever since, and that's kind of how he became PM. Then he fucking got his way in and surrounded himself with all his sycophants, and then prorogued Parliament, lied to the Queen about it.
Yeah.
And fucking hell, ever since then it's just been like a, you know, fucking 1 minute he's in Peppa Pig world going on about it, and the next minute he's having a party during a fucking lockdown that he ordered everyone else to obey. So we all did the right thing by staying inside and not getting infected, most of us, and he decided to have like 7
They
parties.
said it was 7.
7
I think.
fucking parties.
I'll have to double check. You do have a tab open there, so you can Google.
Yeah, let's
I believe it was.
If anyone in chat wants to let me, if you want me to screen share it, I can. But for the meantime, I'll just leave that hanging there and I'll research it myself.
Yeah, how many work events, quote unquote,
Boris Johnson's work events.
As he says, wine and cheese. It was just wine and cheese.
I find Boris is that little petulant child, you know, in school where like he has one too many biscuits, and then the teacher catches him with breadcrumbs around his mouth, and he's like, "What? I didn't touch your biscuits." You know, like.
There's a whole timeline there, apparently.
Oh fuck. Yahoo. Okay, so we got this up.
This is
So,
Partygate,
the
people.
Partygate scandal engulfing Boris Johnson has piqued public outrage that the Prime Minister was not playing by the rules he set for everyone else. Here are some of the main allegations. So, May 15th, 2020, that was the time I got out of the bath and had a very, very weird text message appear on my phone, like everyone else did in the country at the time. Stay the fuck inside. Do not come out. We will fucking kick you back inside.
I actually didn't get one. I'm just going to say that. Apparently,
did.
the government didn't give a shit about disabled people.
Well, that's nothing new.
No.
But yeah, I got that message, and yeah, I was fucking shit scared for a couple of days. I didn't even go food shopping until like a week later when I heard on the news that it was okay and I could go out for food. Meanwhile, May 15th, the fucking Prime Minister, Johnson, is pictured with wine and cheese alongside his now wife Carrie and some 20 staff in the Downing Street garden. There was a leaked photo of this, and apparently fucking Rishi Sunak was the neighbour at the time. He was in number 11. He had like a fucking window view of the entire thing and didn't report it.
Of course he didn't.
And at the time, he was exactly in the kind of position where you should report shit like that. So, yeah.
Oh, and obviously Boris insisted that this was a work event.
Oh, yeah. Well, initially he said, no, I don't know. I wasn't at any
Yeah,
parties.
he said there was no party. It didn't exist. It doesn't exist. It never happened. And then photos came out of him
and
there,
he's like,
and
well,
he was like, okay, well, I thought it was a work
Well, I
event.
guess I was there, yeah. Like, it's just, that's me. You know, it just gets better and better. May 20, 2020, yeah.
5 days later.
20th of May, literally not even a week. The guy's a fucking animal. Johnson's senior aide, Martin Reynolds, invites staff to make the most of the lovely weather and have some socially distanced drinks in the number 10 garden this evening. By the way, at this time, our NHS workers were like literally sweating their asses off, some of them putting themselves in like incredible risk.
Our NHS workers didn't have PPE.
They didn't get to pop out the back for fucking tea and biscuits. They had to just carry on. But these fuckers...
They didn't even have PPE.
Like,
if you remember, they were wearing bin bags as aprons. They were
yeah.
having to reuse
Oh, that's another...
masks.
We forgot to talk about that, didn't we? Of his numerous fuck-ups, the whole PPE scandal, where they basically just handed the contracts to their mates rather than companies that could actually, like...
The mate that owned
some companies in the country...
that owned a pub.
Some companies in the country had them fucking stockpiled. There was, like, factories full of this stuff that they could have easily made a decent contract with, but instead they got some fucker in Spain that was connected with Hancock, I think.
Matt Hancock's
Matt
friend
Hancock,
or his
sorry.
sister or something.
Yeah, there was something connected there, and yeah, just fucking corrupt. I'm sorry, I'm angry tonight. Don't worry. As soon as we talk about our next subject, I'll be a bit calmer for a time.
Sadder.
You'll see. There's some shit coming. We're going to be taking down a guy called Steve. Can't give his full name though, because obviously YouTube wouldn't like it. But
well, actually, there's two people. There's Steve and Lynn with
yeah,
two N's.
but yeah, Facebook is a hell of a website. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, NHS working their asses off. The government felt like they could just take a nice evening because leading the country is such hard work.
Apparently, I'm just reading what Yumi's got up now. 40 staff were invited to this picnic and food in the garden.
Yeah, 40.
There was
now,
an email
correct me if I'm wrong, but what was the guidance at the time? Only like you and one other person, I think.
No,
and it was only social bubbles.
At the time, it was only like
outdoor events.
Even
then, only a couple of people.
No, this was
right?
way early. This was before.
May.
This was before the outdoor events.
Yeah.
This was stay at home with just your fucking family, nobody else.
Right, and
they
obviously they weren't family. Like,
oh yeah, no, because they're all related.
Unless you want to do that whole fucking like, you know, the wealthy elites are all like in bed with each other, family. You know, yeah, you know. I'm sure Boris has got loads of family, but yeah, I mean, someone's got to refurbish the fucker's flat, ain't they? You know, on taxpayers' money, I might add. I'm sorry, it just keeps on coming. I just keep remembering things. So yeah, him and his wife attended. According to several reports, despite some staffers expressing qualms with the gathering, apparently breaching lockdown rules, which was correct. So at least some people in there had the brain cells to think maybe this is a bad idea, maybe a bad look, you know, maybe a bit of an optics loss. The The Prime Minister later categorically denied knowing about the event beforehand or receiving warnings it breached the rules he set for the public, despite the fact that now text messages have been leaked, very much showing that he actually knew entirely all about it.
Yeah,
one, because I think one of the text
messages
messages
and emails.
showed that he's actually the fucker who planned it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He sent the fucking email.
Oh, I didn't know. These were all just my irresponsible workmen. No, it was you, Boris. It was you. Are we doing well stream-wise? Hang on. Just a minor break, just to check. Yeah, seems fine. And then moving on.
1 month later.
Yeah, thankfully they took a bit of a fucking break, because somebody would have broken their fucking legs if they were partying any harder.
Boris Johnson's 56th birthday.
This is like a veritable spring break of politics, isn't it? Up to 30 staff are said to have attended a party at Downing Street for Johnson's 56th birthday on June the 19th, 2020. At the time when social gatherings were only permitted between 6 people outside. Let that sink in.
They had 5 times as many people there as they should have.
Auntie Doris couldn't go and grieve, go to the funeral of her dead husband who died from COVID. The funerals were banned, weddings were banned, everyone's big life events. But Boris gets to have his 56th party where he can bop it to some fucking karaoke.
With his wine and cheese. Because
apparently if you're a rich, wealthy cunt, you get to just do what you like. That's the system we live in. We had 2 viewers, but now we've got 0 again. Sorry about the hot takes, guys.
I just want to briefly talk about the whole wine and cheese thing for a second. The reason this all really came out was because there was a woman who was doing a practice press conference for the Tory party, and someone jokingly asked about this quote-unquote work event, this party, and she said, well, it was a work event, it was just wine and cheese, and then she ended that conversation...
It was socially distanced.
She ended that conversation with saying, this isn't being recorded, is it?
I wish I remembered the name.
Yeah, I don't remember.
She got sacked the day after she was crying, oh, I did something wrong. Well,
but the way she asked right at the end, this isn't being recorded, is it? It's yes, it fucking is, darling, you put your foot in it. Jesus.
Yeah, and these people, the amount of things they voted against, and look at them now. They're okay, they can have a good knees up, but, God forbid you have enough to live on.
Oh yeah, more on that later.
Yeah, there's going to be more of that. We've got receipts. So yeah, June 19th, 56th birthday party for Boris. I believe there's pictures as well, but, I'm pretty sure most people who know about this have seen those.
You can literally Google them, they're all over the place.
We got some tea as well, look at this. He is said to have been presented with a Union Jack cake, and staff sang happy birthday at a party lasting roughly half an hour. Downing Street has insisted the Prime Minister attended for less than 10 minutes.
Regardless, he shouldn't have been there anyway.
If I was 56 and I was having a big knees up, I wouldn't stick around for 10 minutes and then fuck off.
I'd be there till 2 a.m, mate.
Union Jack cake.
Oh my god,
I'd be off my tits on all sorts of substances with my head in the cake.
Can I have?
I'd be jumping out of the cake, flopping my tits around. Sorry.
They're nice titties, no one would look away.
More on that later. But yeah, the fucking cheek of it. And I was there for 10 minutes. It's oh yeah, okay. Well, I'm just gonna go to Mardi Gras for 10 minutes, and that's okay. That's within guidance.
Just reading it there. Apparently, they seem to have had a second fucking separate party that day at his flat, which, by the way, he renovated with taxpayers' money.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, actually, he ended up paying the money back.
Yeah, so. But that's not the point. He did it in the first place.
They tried to get away with it, and we caught him out, and they said, "Oh, okay, then we'll give it back."
We'll give it back. Yeah.
And then he voted against the fucking they cut social. What's it called? What's the name of it? We basically got 20 quid less.
They cut universal credit by £20 a week.
So he's allowed to refurbish his flat and have some the gaudiest fucking wallpaper ever.
It is actually ugly. And it is straight out of the 70s.
But when you look how much all that shit cost, you're like, Jesus, they have no taste. Clearly they've got a lot more money than taste.
Yeah, honestly, Google Boris Johnson flat refurb, look at the pictures first, and then look at how much it costs.
Yeah, I tell you what, considering crimes against humanity, that's up there. That is up there.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to bleach my eyes. It's horrible.
So yeah, and then we move forward to November the 13th. So already we have May 15th, May 20th, June 19th.
June 19th.
And then November the 13th. Controversial advisor Dominic Cummings, we all know his arc now. He's like the only truthful one in there.
Yeah, he's
But
kind of turned into like a.
I still have no respect for him because
course not.
he's the Brexit champion.
You know, of course not. But
His words, not mine.
it's funny that he's like throwing this huge fit, and instead of, it's actually working in our favour that he's throwing this fit, because he's throwing all of the Tories.
He's sort of crusading as like a moral paragon when he's like.
Yeah, he's not much better.
He's kind of, he wasn't when he was still under the payment of these people. He wasn't much better himself. So I don't know.
Yeah, because he did that round trip, the Balmoral Castle thing, didn't he?
You're checking his eyesight.
Yeah. Oh, I went to get my eyes checked.
Okay, so you're allowed to do that, but people that have cancer symptoms weren't able to go to their GP. Okay.
I mean, whilst we're talking about Tory scumbags who have not followed any kind of rules during lockdown, Matt Hancock obviously getting it off with his fucking aid.
Yeah.
Tongue and all.
Do you remember that video that leaked where they had the Tories at the party and they were like, I've had the time of my life.
Yeah, God, that's awful. It's so cringe.
Meanwhile, they were voting against all of the social welfare, like just cutting it away bit by bit, as if it isn't already bad enough.
Letting the NHS go on.
Yay, let the austerity reign. I fucking love this country and hate it at the same time.
I absolutely hate this country and I cannot wait for Welsh independence.
Yeah, just fucking invade us. Just teach us our ways. I don't mind. As long as I don't have to move. And, you know, as long as you don't, like, put me in a gulag or anything, like a Welsh gulag. I don't know what the Welsh word for gulag is, but...
I don't think we have a word for gulag.
I don't know. Just whatever your equivalent is. The Welsh, you know, thing. Yeah, as long as I don't have to move, then I'm fine with being colonialised by Wales. They seem to know what they're doing. So, yeah.
You've got to click story continues.
Dominic Cummings. I'm just collecting my thoughts again. Controversial advisor Dominic Cummings is fired after his Barnard Castle thing, yeah. He alleges that a raucous party took place that night in the Prime Minister's Downing Street apartment.
They party because he got
fired. A raucous party. This was the one, apparently, I think, where they didn't... One of the fucking politicians, I don't know if it was Boris himself, but they broke one of their kids' like swings in the garden. They were fucking pissing about after drinking, and I think one of the guys like fucked up a swing.
I have no idea.
Like
I
warlords
didn't know
on
about
tour.
that.
Warlords on tour, boys. Yeah, they were partying like a bunch of fucking
some
animals.
Some fat Tory dickhead fucking broke a kid's swing.
It'd be fucking hilarious if it wasn't going on during a fucking like pandemic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be almost like shaking hands with them if it wasn't during a pandemic. I'd be like, yeah, you boys. Massive boys, mate. You know? Because I want politicians to be a bit more realistic. Like, you know, why not? Why can't you go down to the club sometimes and have like a fucking bottle of Bolly or whatever? You know? Within reason, obviously. Not on taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
Not on taxpayers' money. I'm not saying like just let them like off the leash and let them be knobheads, but like, you know, politicians are often like try and paint themselves as being these epic truth tellers, but we should know by now
the
that
biggest liars
no one's
of all.
perfect, and like they should just be a bit more realistic, you know. Like
at this point,
I like Nigel Farage is a good example of that. He's an absolute cunt, but at least he was willing to say, yes, I like a pint down at the pub. If we got someone like Tony Benn who would say the same, then I think that's the kind of guy we want in, or woman, or they. Whoever it is, as long as you enjoy a pint, get in there. I'm making a fool of myself.
You are a little
just search through all the shit I just said and put together like a nice little thing, and there you go. That's what
anyway. At the time of this raucous party, England was already in its second lockdown, and you weren't supposed to have indoor gatherings.
Circuit breaker, was it?
Something
our little 2 week,
like that.
Our little 2 week plan to try and kill the thing off.
It didn't fucking work.
Yeah. That was when they were trying to do the fucking traffic light system with the green light, red light, orange light.
Squid Game.
Bullshit. This would have also been the time when we were advised that masks were good, I think. Or was it a bit before then? Like, either way.
We already had that, to be fair.
Because in the first couple of weeks, no one said anything about masks, and then suddenly the mask thing came up. I remember a video I made, like, a year or two ago, where I wasn't wearing a mask and I went out food shopping as a bit of a joke, and at the time I had no idea that I didn't have a mask to wear, but I remember like a week after that the news started popping up saying like, wear a mask, it's going to be soon government mandate. So I don't want people to think that I made that video like deliberately not wearing a mask. It was simply just because I hadn't been told that a mask was useful. Then again, maybe I should have been smart enough to realise that myself, you know. Like, I don't know. But yeah.
Moving on.
Hey, fuck off.
Yeah. You zoomed in on my
What?
browser.
What are we doing?
We're going to click story continues to keep reading.
Okay. So Dominic Cummings' raucous party
Yes, we read that.
took place that night in the Prime Minister's apartment.
Yes.
England was then in a second lockdown, and such indoor gatherings were forbidden. So yeah, one rule for them, one rule for us. And then November 27th, so about 2.5 weeks later...
Day after my birthday.
Johnson gives a speech at Downing Street. Downing Street drinks, held for the departure of another aide. I don't have the name of that aide. Some of you might know that, I don't know. Particularly, I suppose, anyone who knows more about this than me, but they haven't listed the name here. The Daily Mail reported that up to 50 people were crammed into a single room. So yeah, definitely a COVID spreader.
Daily reminder
this
that
is
indoor gatherings
a
were
bit
banned.
stupid, because I think by this point, didn't Boris already have COVID? Didn't he?
I don't
He was
remember when
whisked-
he had COVID, but he did have
He
COVID at some
wasn't
point.
he whisked off to Balmoral Hospital? Is that the name of the hospital?
I don't know.
Somewhere in London, where he got the best healthcare that Britain can buy. And he's a bit of a stupid cunt, isn't he?
Yeah.
If he had COVID and then just, stood in a room with 50 people, giving a speech. If it was beforehand, then I don't know if that makes it much better, but at least it's kind of more understandable, maybe. But
I like that.
I don't know.
That occurred the day after my birthday, and
Yeah.
on my birthday, I was only allowed to see you and one other person.
Exactly, yeah, you spent
And
most
he's
of the
having
day
a
away.
fucking party just because someone's leaving their job.
Yeah, it's any reason with these cunts. Like, oh, someone's leaving, tea and biscuits? Yeah. Like, meanwhile, somebody else in the country is trying to have a funeral, to mourn the dead. And they can't even go to the funeral because of COVID restrictions. It's like, we did the right thing. You fucked about. Thank you. We fucking pay them to do that. We fucking pay them. They work for us. They're supposed to, at least, Oh, we got a...
No, it's one of them spam things.
Oh, hello, Russia. Russia's in chat.
Suka.
Suka biat. In Soviet Russia, we hack you. Okay, so December 14th, so Christmas time, 2 years back. Plates of buffet food and drinks were on offer in a photograph revealed by the Times newspaper showing Conservative staff in festive mode. Festive mode. I like that. Transformers. Festive mode. Like...
Yeah.
So yeah. This was the one where it was like he had like a secret Santa, apparently. That was like something quite funny. Boris and his secret Santa. I don't know if anyone in America has the same thing. I assume you do, because I watched an episode of Glee where that was like one of the plot points. Isn't it basically where you have like names in a hat, and then if you draw that name, you're supposed to buy that person a gift,
Yeah.
but they won't know it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Secret Santa, and apparently everyone in Downing Street was doing that. So it's inconsequential, but I think it was just funny that the news reported on it and they made like a really big deal out of it.
Yeah, they did.
Secret Santa? Oh.
I remember seeing pictures of Boris in a Christmas hat.
It was like, that's a trifle too far, young sir. Not only did they have a party, but they had a Secret Santa. Oh. Did anyone do a line of crack, though? That's what I really want to know. Yeah, Boris probably did. He looks like he did. Fucking hell.
That man looks like he sniffs coke off of water seats. Okay,
So, the party says the gathering was unauthorised and disciplined some of those present. So basically, some of them were tattling on the others because they didn't want to end up in the pig's trough. Because, the Tories will sell themselves out. It's happened historically. They keep a book, don't they, full of like names of people that are like noncing kids or doing drugs. And then as soon as they want them out of to fuck off from being a PM, basically, they'll leak all that shit and like throw them under the bus. Have you heard about that? The Tory Black Book? Yeah.
pretty much.
It's fucked up. Personally, I think if you've got that kind of info, you should fucking hand it to the police rather than fucking waiting on it for 2 years. Because usually the only reason they'll report that shit is if a Tory MP votes the wrong way, a way that like some Tory heads won't approve of. And then it'll suddenly come out that like they were a pedo or they were doing crack off like a hooker's tits or whatever, like, just crazy shit. It'll just all come out because we know Tories, some of them are just up to their eyeballs doing all the stuff that they condemn everyone else for doing. Like, not to say I do that stuff, but like I'm You know what I mean?
Anyway,
it's like, do as I say, not as I do.
At the time of this little Christmas party they had, after the November lockdown, they did this fucking tier system.
Regional
it was awful.
tiers, yeah.
Do you remember, tiers 1 to 4? 1 was fine, 4 was the worst.
The West Midlands was actually in a pretty good position.
Yeah,
at the
we
time,
were alright,
so...
but at the time, London and other big areas were in tier 4, which meant not even, like, not in your garden, not in your house, no socialising, just your essentials. And that's when they had this little Christmas party.
But yeah, it failed. That fucking failed. So they had to replace it with like a November, 2-week lockdown. So it banned indoor socialising between households. And this was right before the Boris Johnson's Save Christmas campaign.
Oh, God.
If you remember that, when they were trying to save Christmas.
Yeah, that was awful.
They were painting him as some kind of fucking superhero. Like, they had fucking Rishi Sunak, like, as Superman in one of the newspapers, if you remember. Although I don't think that was Christmas related. I think that was actually due to his, like, fucking Tory... economical shit.
Yeah,
he did some economic miracle worker. Rishi Sunak.
No one gives a fuck about him.
Taking everyone's money and giving it to the rich.
He's a fucking billionaire. His wife's a fucking billionaire, like fucking oil tycoon, heiress, piece of shit.
Okay, so we're nearly reaching the end. December the 15th, 2020.
So the following day.
Yeah, literally. Thank you. I wouldn't have said that, but thank you. Yeah, I would have just glossed over that fact. I didn't even realise.
Yeah, the following fucking day.
The dude must have, did he not have a hangover? He must have been chasing the dragon. Johnson was photographed sitting between two staffers at a number 10 Christmas Zoom quiz. He insists it was a work gathering. A fucking Zoom quiz. They were fucking, I don't know what the quiz would have been. I don't know. Top 10 twats in power. And, yeah, that's important. That's something that we need to do during a pandemic rather than go into your fucking Cobra meetings, you cunt.
It was probably fucking stats about Cobra. How many people have died during the pandemic?
It's a thing. He missed his Cobra meetings.
Yeah.
He turned up to fucking Glasgow for the COP for a day or two, I think.
Fuck that.
And then fucked off. Meanwhile, he's just popping up having Zoom quizzes. That's a fucking important thing that we should pay for.
As if he's got nothing better to do.
Fucking hell. And people call me a scrounger. Fucking hell.
So anyway, 2 days after this Zoom meeting...
December 17th, 2020, a social event is alleged to have taken place, attended by staff in the Cabinet Office. Senior civil servant Simon Case, who was initially tasked with investigating other party claims, stepped down over claims that his staff had broken the rules on indoor social mixing. It was later reported that another work event took place in the department on the same day to mark the departure of Kate Josephs, the former head of the COVID task force. And I die a little bit.
Irony.
I die a little bit inside after reading that.
For which she later apologised.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think we've got the name of that bitch from earlier.
Anyway, 1 day later.
Yep, the next day. This is turning into a fucking soap opera.
Yeah, December 18th.
Fucking hell. Can anyone remember what they were doing on this day 2 years ago? Probably wouldn't have been as fun as what they were doing, I tell you that much.
I think I was here.
Especially if you were a support, a key worker. So another party was held in Downing Street, according to the Daily Mirror, prompting further government denials. But a video then obtained by ITV News showed Johnson's then press secretary, Allegra Stratton, joking about the event at a mock news conference.
That's her.
That's the bitch.
That's the one.
She later resigned in a tearful public statement. Everyone knows that video. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
She was cocky as fuck in the in the initial video when she was like, "Oh, it was socially distanced," lol. And then literally the day after, she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it."
Crocodile
I'm like, "Well,
tears.
you've fucking done it. We paid you money, and you've, with this kind of money behind you, you shouldn't be fucking up this badly. You know what I mean?" April the 16th, so we're jumping forward a bit. They've taken a couple of months off.
Or they did shit that we just don't have evidence
Hang
for.
on, I'm just gonna... Yeah, we still good.
We did.
We still good. Where was I? There we go.
April 16th.
Had a bit of a Boris Johnson moment then. Peppa Pig. Have you been to Peppa Pig World? I dare say. April 16th, 2021. So we're in the next year. So we're getting more up to date. 2 boozy leaving events took place the night before the funeral for Prince Philip. Now, you'll remember this was about the time we did a stream. about him dying because we thought it was really hilarious because we fucking hate the royal family.
The Duke of Edinburgh.
Indeed. The Queen's husband. Now, thing is, we are allowed, as citizens, to disrespect the royal family.
True.
The Prime Minister is paid by us to lead the country and not piss on his grave.
Yeah, like...
So, but however, he found his way of doing this. So, two boozy leaving events took place the night before the funeral for Prince Philip, the Queen's husband. While the country was in a period of official mourning, the fucking Queen included, the Daily Telegraph reported that Johnson was not believed to have been present. Oh no, hang on, I fucked it. Johnson was not believed to have been present at these events, at which alcohol was smuggled into Downing Street in a suitcase. How corrupt do you have to be?
Yeah.
Now, whenever I've had wine, I just walk around with it. I'm just like, yeah, who cares? Who fuck, like, what are you going to do? Put me in prison for drinking?
As much as I dislike the monarchy,
got a fucking covert. It's like a James Bond movie. Smuggling the wine, you know? Like, from Russia with love.
Honestly, as much as I hate the monarchy because they're archaic fucking lizards. Not really lizards, though. The fact that she had to have the funeral alone.
Yeah, the Queen was like
because of restrictions, but they're having a piss up. It's like...
And this is it. The Tories now believe that they are more powerful and above the law than the fucking Queen
than the
is.
literal monarchy.
Now, I don't like the Queen. I don't like the royal family. But, like, the fucking cheek of it. Now, if he thinks he's better than the Queen, he damn right thinks he's way better than you.
Yeah. You
know, and that's what should wake you the fuck up if you still support this person and the cunts that surround him. So, his former director of communications, James Slack, one of those that were leaving at the time, apologised for the anger and hurt that was caused. Downing Street later apologised to the Queen, although it's fucking hilarious at the time that they didn't actually apologise. They didn't state in their apology what they were apologising for because they were still trying to cover their asses.
Yeah, they just said, we're sorry.
Yeah, and the Queen was like,
for what? Yeah,
I'm a stamp. Like, I don't know.
I think that's all for the
timeline. And I think that's it.
Now, yeah.
But fucking at this rate, there's going to be another one tomorrow. There's going to be more. Because Sue Gray's report is about to be put out, I think.
We're waiting for it.
Either that or the police, because they're
Met, yeah.
I was under the impression because Boris Johnson told me that they don't like do things from 2 years ago, but it fucking seems they do because now they're investigating Downing Street. So. There's going to be more.
You
probably.
might want to do a search up on the Sue Gray report thing because they're saying it's coming, it's not, it's coming.
There's definitely too much smoke here for there not to be a fire. So yeah, I mean, one party rumor is like, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. We'll let them off.
But like seven,
fucking seven,
like, if not more.
A year-long fucking binge, if you will.
Very much.
You know, Sue Gray report, right? Because it might be dropping right now as we speak. Sue Gray. I feel like I'm doing what like Vosh did, you know, because he does this shit. He goes right in there and.
Well, we're very angry.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm like as eloquent as him, but.
47 minutes ago, will the Sue Gray report
Sue Gray, the British civil servant. By the way, this report has to be signed off by the government, so there's chances are Boris has like tried to cover his arse by taking stuff out.
Probably.
So chances are Sue Gray feels like she's got a lot of guns up against her head by now. So apparently it's not dropped yet. Sue Gray. Why is Sue Gray report on number 10 parties taking too long? Okay, it's delayed. Because I don't know much about it, I'm going to skip over that for the time being. So that's that, and that's why we don't like Boris, and that's why
that's just some of the reasons
we are probably. I would advise somebody to tactically vote when the next election comes. I don't know what the fuck Labour will be up to at the time. Probably allowing fucking who's that guy? Cunts like.
They let a Tory in there, didn't they?
Hang on, because I know some Tory dude, fucking like left the Tories to go with Labour, and there was a big stink at the time because they were saying like you won't give the whip back to Corbyn, but you'll let this prick who voted like against all of the usual Labour policy. Like this guy could not have been like more Tory if he tried.
They're pretty much just moving more Tories into the Labour party.
And yeah, he would rather have cunts like that in the party than like Corbyn.
Because Keir Starmer is a fucking Blairite
Tory
piece of shit.
defector. Christian Wakeford. Yeah, if they can allow cunts like Christian Wakeford into the party, who... can we have a look at his voting record?
You can find it somewhere.
Hang on.
Yeah, that's a really fun thing that some people might not know about. You can look at all your MPs' fucking voting records. They're all there.
Sorry about the dead air. I'm still trying to find something.
Just search it.
Oh, is Wikipedia reliable enough?
Just literally search his voting record and it'll come up. Don't just search
I did.
his name. No, you just searched his name.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Epic stream fail.
Yeah, just put
voting record.
And it'll come up.
But yeah, it's going to be no surprises. It's going to be all the Tory shit that you could think of. It would all be against LGBT rights, against funding for education, against meals in school, you know, all that kind of stuff. Voting record of Christian Wakeford. So, a draft trade union, power of the certification officer to impose financial penalties. He voted no.
Obviously.
So, union voted no. Very, very fucking Tory in my book. Another union voted no. Elections bill, third reading. To be fair, I have no idea what that means.
I don't know what the amendments are, unfortunately.
We're going to look for the ones we definitely know. Here we go. Value added tax on household energy bills. He voted no. Is that good or bad? That could be taken a number of ways, actually. Opposition day. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit sort of dyslexic with like yes and no. Sometimes I tend to like.
What was it about? It does not say.
Okay, no, I'm gonna just stick to the terms I fucking know, because like when it comes to taxes and stuff, unless there's something tied to it that I definitely know what it is. The welfare cap, he voted yes.
Of course.
Of course, yeah, there we go. That's, you know what that fucking means, don't you? That means like fuck 'em, we got ass. Charter for budget responsibility, aye. That's another word for like fuck the poor, make them like have less money.
Yeah.
Budget responsibility. Oh, because they're not poor, they've just got cash flow problems. Sorry. I'm sure you remember that, don't you?
Yeah.
Cash flow problems. Apparently we're all spending it in crack houses, according to some MPs. Nuclear energy financing bill. Aye. I don't know where I stand on nuclear energy, to be honest. It's good and bad. It has good fors and against, you know. Like, I don't know. One day we might do a stream on that and we'll break it down. Not for today, though. Health protection, entry to venues. Don't know. Subsidy control bill report stage, Amendment 16. Motion to sit in private. He voted no. I don't know what that means either, but either way, he's a prick.
Yeah.
He seems like your average true blue Tory cunt, so therefore, fuck him.
As for why they let him in Labour, it's because Keir Starmer himself is a fucking plastic Tory.
Indeed. And this is why we can't have the whip back to Jeremy Corbyn.
Because
Somebody, I have yet for people to prove to me. This actually ties into our next topic, by the way. It does. People say that he's an anti-Semite. I've not yet seen the evidence, and believe me, I've been trying to look for it.
I just want to remind
Other
people...
than him hanging out with slightly less favourable characters. But, I mean, isn't it true that, like, the fucking Mujahideen used to be, like, with America? Like, history changes people, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure Hamas, back in the day, weren't the Hamas that we know nowadays. I'm not trying to defend Hamas. I'm just saying that these things change, you know? Like, I don't know what I'm saying, really, but, you know, it's...
I want to point out, the thing with the anti-Semitism is people who are legitimately anti-Semitic, the likes of Boris Johnson, Donald Trump, will use the term anti-Semitism and throw it out their opposition
it does
as a
strike me
smear
as,
campaign.
considering some of the things Boris Johnson has said, it comes across as projection. Sorry. Yeah.
Can I finish? Thank you. Because the thing is, people will know that because of what we're going to talk about in a little bit, when you invoke anti-Semitism, it gets a very knee-jerk reaction from like people.
Visceral response,
because of, you know, the Holocaust and things. So when you accuse someone of being anti-Semitic, people who aren't also anti-Semitic will go, oh, fucking hell, that's awful. So it's always used as a smear campaign. They did the same thing in America against Bernie Sanders, who, by the way, is Jewish.
Ilhan Omar as well.
They did it to Ilhan Omar as well, yeah. They do it to anybody who they don't like.
Need we forget that Bernie Sanders was Jewish?
Yeah, he is Jewish, and they tried to call him an anti-Semite as a smear
mad.
campaign, and they
But
did
no,
the
I
same
mean-
thing to Jeremy Corbyn.
Corbyn strikes me as one of the least racist people I've ever known. Like, fucking... We all remember when he went over to help the Rajavan farmers.
Yeah.
Was it in Africa? Like... I don't remember Boris doing anything like that. Fucking, you know... But yeah,
Too busy having a holiday in Marbella.
Yeah, there's another one. Marbella guy. I think I'm all, like, fuck Boris out, so... So yeah, as everyone knows, for the next couple of hours, it's still Holocaust Remembrance Day. So today we remember the 6 million Jews that were persecuted during World War II and killed due to Nazi ideology.
And regardless of what
Infesting
people will
Europe.
tell you, yes, it was that many Jewish people. And that isn't even the full number when
Yeah.
you include the gay people, the gypsies, the communists,
Yep,
the black people.
First they came for, you know, the line, don't you?
First they came for the Jews.
No, it's first they came for the communists.
First they
I
came
think.
for the communists.
Then
and
they
stuff
came
like
for the
that.
Jews. Then they came for every other fucker, and you know, and no one was left to defend you. So yeah. That's how that goes. You need to stand up against fascism, because if you aren't careful, once they've got rid of all the people you don't like, you will be the next target. Hitler was no stranger to murdering people within his own inner circle. It was a well-known fact. He would turn on people so quickly. Didn't matter if you were white, however pure you were, whatever gender, or like whatever fetishes you did or didn't have, or how weird, quote-unquote, you were. He could turn on you. If it was advantageous to the Nazi party, you're fucked. So, yeah. And this is why I'm anti-fascist. Because regardless of what I think of the people I defend, you know, someday it could be me or it could be the people I love, and I will not let that happen as long as I'm alive. As it happens, I know quite a lot of Jewish people, and I'm friends with them, so it doesn't really matter how I feel about them either way. But still, even if I didn't like them particularly, it wouldn't matter, because I would still realise that one day I could be the target of a systematic genocide. And I think at that point, people need to grow the fuck up and, you know, stick up for people they don't like, basically. That's, you know...
But yeah,
Not
anyway,
saying for a second I dislike anybody particularly regarding this, but it's just it's an argument I make to people that particularly are anti-Semitic. I tell them, like, okay, so you don't like Jews, but what's going to happen when they suddenly decide that all gamers should die? What then? Defend yourself. And then they fucking shut the fuck up because they've got no response. They're like, well, they wouldn't though. And I'm like, yes, they would. Yes, they would. If the right people came to power, you're fucked. What are you going to do? And then I go, exactly. So maybe you should stick up for the people. You know? Because it's a shield that one day will protect you. If, you know, I don't have to use that argument against everybody, but, like, you know, occasionally you meet somebody that's so fucking, like, wrecked in the head that you have to sort of appeal to their survival instinct, as it were. Anyway, back to the actual topic. So what does this mean to you? Holocaust Remembrance Day. I don't know. Is it to you? Is it just watching Schindlers List? Is that like your first opening to it, or did you read about it?
In terms of studying about the Holocaust, we were taught it in school, not in great detail.
Yeah, but British education is very much like, you know, oh, you don't need to know that.
Because the thing
we'll
is,
just gloss over it.
We were taught a little bit about Hitler and how he was not a very nice person in, you know, age-appropriate terms. Yeah. And we were taught about how, you know, lots of people were persecuted, but most of our education regarding this time in history, like World War II, was about how great fucking Winston Churchill was, apparently.
Oh, yeah, fuck Winston Churchill.
We got fed a lot of that in school.
I say that, like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure India would say it for themselves, but, like, on their behalf tonight, I'm saying, fuck Churchill.
Literally, all the way.
Just for India alone, never mind all the other shite you did.
He was himself a known anti-Semite.
Yeah, the partition of India is like his worst, because that killed like 3 million people. That was his own miniature genocide.
You know, he himself was a known anti-Semite. It's the fucking problem. Like,
hang on, do we have a quote?
Of Churchill being an anti-Semite?
I don't know about that. I mean, I could believe it, but I need to see proof.
if you wanna search it, yeah.
Winston Churchill.
The only reason Churchill wasn't pallying around with the Nazis is because he was in the UK.
Anti-socialism quotes.
If you dropped Winston Churchill in Nazi Germany, he would have fit right in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I'm one of them where I had a shit education, especially regarding like history. So like, people these days say that I know a lot of history and I'm really good at like remembering things like statistics and stuff. But like, back then I was never taught about that stuff, so I've had to learn about it as years have gone by. So I did most of my education regarding the Holocaust at the ripe age of like 15, 16 sort of age.
If not older, to be honest with
you. But I mean, particularly just really opening up to being on the left and sort of like, because everyone knows I went through a bit of a phase of being sort of a bit of a shitlord, you know, politically right wing. Never an anti-Semite or like a white supremacist per se, but I used to be a mouthpiece for people that probably did believe that stuff, and I was too dumb to realise I was parroting their talking points. But yeah, as soon as I sort of like got away from all that shit and sort of started learning about the real world, you know, took the rose-tinted glasses off and saw the world as it really was, that's when it kind of piqued my interest. Like, what else have I been lied to about? And it was pretty grueling learning about it all, because I mean, World War II. People like fucking... They make a big deal out of it being all like, oh, you know, men and their war games, you know? Like, people glamorize it almost. And then when I learned about the Holocaust, I was just like, no fucking way that can happen. That's pure evil. And then, like, a couple of years ago, I watched Schindler's List for the first time, and, like, wow, that was a trip. It's a fucking great film, but, like, I'm not ready. I think I can only really watch it, like, once a year, and... Because it really does, it breaks me down at my very core, watching certain parts of it. But yeah, honestly, I'm not the best person to ask about this stuff, because I'm neither Jewish, nor really European, you could say. Especially due to recent events over the last couple of years. But yeah, I mean, your best people to ask is probably, German people who have like relatives that were either survivors or were in the German military at the time, because there were good people in the German military. You know, some people really were just following orders. It was a crazy time. Other people obviously didn't give a fuck, and they were just like bayoneting kids, you know, sticking fucking grenades into the trousers of young kids and then sending them off to go to a tank. That was referenced in Jojo Rabbit, if you remember. It was played as a joke in that film, but it actually used to happen. They would send children off with grenades stashed in their back pocket, and they would send them running towards the enemy soldiers, and they would explode. Basically, suicide bombers of the Nazi party. It's pretty messed up stuff. Here we go. Winston Churchill, accusations of anti-Semitism, economic inexperience, and the blunt refusal that led to the deaths of millions. By the way, this is the Independent, so you know you can say it's biased, you can hate it, you can say it's not true all you like. It's just a newspaper. I don't read newspapers much. I tend to just go with what I kind of find from all over, and then I make up my own mind. I'm sort of like an archivist. You know, I kind of just put it all in a pile and go, right, this sounds like this fits here, that fits there. Maybe it's not the best way to do things, but I'm just kind of rambling, aren't I?
A little bit.
Yeah. Had Winston Churchill not come to power in Britain in the 40s, the entire history of the world would be different. The political leaders of Britain that succeeded him could never compete with his iconic legacy, but the truth is, because of his triumph over Hitler's despotic regime, they haven't had to. I've got to register to read more. So
it's fine. I've got a bit pulled up here.
You're not going to get the quote.
It's fine. I've got a bit pulled up here. I'm just going to go through some of his other very, very bad beliefs beforehand.
I mean, he was a misogynist. That's all I know.
Well,
Very
yeah,
misogynistic.
he was a massive fucking drunk as well, and really abusive.
I'm just gonna lift the mic up and just there we go.
He was quoted as saying, this isn't specifically about Jewish people, I'll get to that. He was quoted saying, "I hate Indians, they are a beastly people with a beastly religion." Bear in mind, this was the man who caused a genocide in India.
That is a hot take.
He said that he believed the Native Americans had not been wronged when they were invaded. We know this to be a fucking lie.
Classy fella, yeah.
He obviously refused the supply of food to Bengal, leading to the deaths of 3 million people.
And the partition as well.
Yeah,
sort
the
of
partition
made it worse.
Anyway,
I should probably move on to my next. Sorry, yeah, carry on.
I'll just get into the
I'll
anti-Semitism
set that up while you're
bit.
carrying on.
He was quoted as saying, even though he disliked Hitler's quote-unquote system, he admired his patriotic achievement.
Yikesy. Yikes on trikes.
He was also quoted as in an essay about Zionism versus Bolshevism.
So we're doing Steve or Lynn first?
We'll do Steve.
Okay.
He basically was toting the same conspiracy theory that Jews are trying to take over the world. So yes, he was an anti-Semitic, racist
checks
piece
out.
of shit.
So as to tie these two topics together, you know, COVID-19, Boris's party and his party pals and his fucking breadcrumbs.
Oh yeah, here we go. The bit that's going to get me proper annoyed.
There's been sort of like another epidemic entirely of what I would like to call charitably pricks.
That is the nicest way possible to put it.
Yes, I'm fucking holding my tongue. I really am. The second they have to wear a mask or fucking put some fucking sanitizer on their hands to walk
Think about other people's health, not just their fucking own.
They start cosplaying as like persecuted Jewish folk, like they're in some kind of Holocaust themselves, like they're being led into the gas chamber just because they've got to wear a mask in public. So we got Steve here.
This was Steve, yeah.
Steve. We've censored the names because we're not that horrible.
However, I will note these were public comments on a public post under MP Zara Sultana's post about Holocaust Memorial Day. So these people had the fucking audacity to make these comments under a post about Holocaust Memorial Day. Have fun.
Yeah, so this is it. This is like complete anti-vax lunacy. And yeah, you love it. They like to call people like me, you know, trans people, queer people, black people, people of colour generally, perpetual victims. They like to call us.
Can I read this?
Can you see the shit here?
Can I read this in a funny voice like Jim Stephanie Sterling does?
Oh, go on then. How do you do that thing? You know that meme on YouTube where it waves the, you know, the wavy sound wave thing it does where it makes your voice sound all like.
Oh, I don't know. That's like a post editing thing.
We are going to the funny farm. I don't know. Like,
so yeah, this is
thing.
Drip feeding the ideas. Segregation of unvaxxed people is starting to happen. Plenty approve of this. Similarities? ?
Oh.
He's just asking questions, folks. He's just asking questions. He's basically saying that the way Jews were segregated during the Holocaust, in which they were put in fucking gas chambers and used as scientific fucking experiments, is the same as unvaccinated people not being allowed in the pub.
Yeah.
Because those are apparently completely and utterly fucking comparable.
Couldn't have put it better myself. So yeah, like I said, this is like the tyranny of the unvaccinated. I don't know. Like,
we're so oppressed. Kind of bullshit. Oh my god. We're white and we deliberately are choosing not to take a vaccine. We're so oppressed, even though we have the choice not to take it.
I say this as a white person myself.
Yeah, we are white people.
We really don't handle oppression too well, do we? Fucking hell.
Cis white people want to be oppressed so bad.
Screal like bitches just because you got to wear a bit of cloth on your face and have a jab. Like... Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm really glad that this COVID thing will be over soon so that these people will just disappear back into their holes. But I just find this shit disgusting.
It is absolutely abhorrent. Again, on a memorial post for
you know that story you told me earlier about like somebody who did this shit in public, and you said that there was a guy who showed like the person their number.
Yeah. Okay.
Said, "Fuck you."
I'll give the fucking story.
I was there, bitch.
There was a Holocaust survivor who I follow on TikTok, and there was this has been going on for a while. There's been anti-vaxxers who've made Star of David fucking yellow badges saying unvaccinated.
Yeah, that's in America as well.
Much like they had in concentration camps, they had different stars to label people. You know, there was the pink triangle
for anyone who doesn't understand it, by the way, yeah, you got the pink triangle for gay people. This is like in Auschwitz and places like that.
Yeah, within concentration camps.
And Jews had to wear the Star of David, which would single them out for persecution.
Yeah.
And these cunts basically put them on the yellow star, and the yellow star says unvaccinated in sort of like a Hebrew sort of font.
Yeah.
So it looks like the or is it COVID? It says like COVID in like a Hebrew sort of style.
It says unvaccinated.
And they think that shit's hilarious. Like,
yeah, they think it's so funny. And then there was another girl who used a fake filter where it looks like your head is shaved, saying first day at an unvaccinated camp. And a fucking Holocaust survivor literally duetted her video on TikTok, showed her his fucking Auschwitz fucking, like, number tattoo that they gave to everybody who was fucking there, dehumanizing the fuck out of them, and said, fuck you, you absolute piece of shit.
Yeah. So I'd like to think these people, when they pull this shit, one day you're going to fuck with the wrong one, you know, and they're going to show you, they're going to literally show you their numbers, you know. People might think they're all gone. Like all the survivors. No, there's still some out there. And believe me, even if they're not, they've got plenty of descendants. These people were extremely resilient. They will not go down without a fucking good fight. So the Nazis failed, and any other cunts who come up will also fail. And Steve here thinks he's made an excellent point. However, he is completely wrong. And that is my take. My
fucking main thing with this is that it's not just the fact he made that comment, it's the fact there are likes agreeing with that comment.
Oh, well, that's because these people are never alone. There's always, this echo chamber, you know, they clearly don't like hearing about, you know, Auntie Doris's Facebook page. It's full of, there's a lady down the charity shops in Oaken Gates.
Oh, God.
Nearby. Well, it's a bit further away, but yeah. She's an anti-vaxxer.
She's one of those people who seems to think that our technology is advanced
and I have to really be really quiet while I'm in there sometimes. And then you've got the other way. Up in Wellington, you sometimes see them walking around with signs like, you know, I've seen them campaigning up there. They've just been like, there's a weird guy walking around who shows people videos and stuff. It's like a fucking cult.
There's that guy in Wellington who is a literal fucking Nazi who has like stuff in his, like, Holocaust denial stuff in his store.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, like that actual fucking fashion.
That was a strange... we went in there looking for records. Like, we found this cool record shop, and then we found out it was a guy who had, like, fucking David Icke books and, like, some weird, like, Mein Kampf DVD. And I was just like, this is looking fucking sus as shit. Like,
and then
so we left.
We were there for 5 minutes, and then he came out with the Jews Run the World. And
it's because I picked up the Mein Kampf DVD, and I was just like joking with him, going like, "Oh, this. I hope this is a documentary rather than like the fucking like, you know. I hope it's against, you know, how you get World War II documentaries where they like the story of Hitler, you know. I thought like I was hoping that would be that kind of thing. Like I thought it'd be a documentary detailing how Mein Kampf was written and you know, Hitler's time in prison. But no. It was like, oh, surely you don't believe in this stuff. After I realised that it was in support of, I looked at the back and it was like the greatest story never told, and I was like, oh shit, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And then I just turned to him and I was like, surely you don't believe in this shit. Surely you're just like, you don't even know what this is, do you? And he was like, oh yeah. And I was like, what? So you Jews run the world? ? And he was like, oh yeah, they do. And I'm like, oh, we are leaving right now, fuck you.
He had a big anti-vax book in there as well, which was like, if a medical professional offers you a vaccine, they are not a medical professional, or something stupid like that. I'm like, eh?
Yeah, that's kind of Godwin's law, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of like, they are, but they aren't, but they are. Like, it's just, okay.
Anyway.
Actually, I might have had that wrong, actually. I think Godwin's law is a bit like that, where it's
don't know.
You say something is like this at the same time.
The only ones I know
so you are strong and weak at the same time.
The only ones I know are Sod's law and Murphy's law. Anyway, shall we move on to Lynn? Lynn is not much different to Steve, but her wording is
By the way, can you do me a favour?
Iconic.
Sorry guys, you're going to have an echo for a bit. Can you rewind that stream and just put it to your ear and see if our voices are on?
I'll just turn it. I just want to check.
I heard myself for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay.
Sounds
We have to do this ourselves because we've got hardly any viewers. We're a small channel. Hintity hint. Anyway, we've got Lynn here.
Lynn.
It's a shame she's not called Karen, tell you that much.
Oh, she had the haircut in the profile picture.
Karen
She had the haircut.
She had
Blonde,
can I
short,
talk
fucking...
to the...
Can I speak to your manager?
Can I
haircut?
talk to the Jewish manager in this case?
Yeah, she had the haircut.
What about the thousands killed and injured by this experimental bioweapon they are calling a vaccine?
So, in other words, she's in this post about factual evidence of the Holocaust of people who died.
Yeah, you actually, Dion, by the way, knows about vaccines. She
I
works in biology. She has done for years. Sorry, they. I fucking dead named you again.
She, they, he. I don't give a shit.
All right, whatever. But yeah, they've gone to uni.
I have.
On the basis of having like a, what is it? Did you get A star in biology? It was either an A or an A star. I know that much.
What, at college or in uni?
Both.
I got an upper second class in uni, and I got an A star in my biology.
Educate these people on what vaccines are and what the RNA vaccine is.
All right,
because everyone seems to think it's a crazy bioweapon.
So this bitch thinks it's experimental. I'm gonna pick up on that first, because the fact is it's not. It passed all trials to be safe in human beings. The reason they believe it to be experimental is because they're confusing the experimental trials for safe human consumption and long-term studies. Now, yes, there are no long-term studies at the moment because it's not fucking possible. But that does not negate the fact that it has still passed every single fucking trial to be safe for use in human beings. They're confusing the two because they have no idea how to interpret data because they're not academically inclined.
They use that website, don't they, where people can just report COVID symptoms.
Yeah.
And vaccine symptoms. But anyone can go on that website and write fucking anything. They could say, like, I had the vaccine and Thomas the Tank Engine came out of my asshole.
Yeah.
Like, it could just be any old shit.
As for her term bioweapon, again, she's implying that there's this big worldwide conspiracy to wipe out the human race. Countries can't even fucking figure out their trade deals with each other, let alone a worldwide conspiracy.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. Good point.
Like, there's that. As for her saying that they are calling a vaccine, it is a vaccine. That is a fact. Like, as I said, it has passed all trials for safe use in human beings. Like I said, they're just confusing longitudinal studies with the experimental safety trials. Now, as for how the vaccine works, these people have no idea how it works. When you get most vaccines with like a bacteria or a virus or something, you will have what's known as an attenuated, which is like a deactivated or even a completely dead version of that injected into your body. She's searching stuff.
You just carry on. I'm just gonna, because I want to prepare for our next segment.
Yeah.
So.
And what it does is it's injected into your body. Your white blood cells react to the antigens on the outside of it, and then create T killer cells to kill it. Now, the reason we have a vaccine is because when you first get infected in something, it takes your body a while to be able to produce these T killer cells because it has to recognize what it's interacting with. And this is why you feel symptoms of that disease. But if you get it again, such as people who've had chickenpox twice, it's much less significant the second time, because they've already had it once. The reason we have vaccines is to prevent you having to deal with that first initial infection that actually makes you feel sick. It's to avoid that. It's that you get injected with it, your body recognizes it, and it treats it without you having symptoms of that actual disease. You get flu-like symptoms, which is just a typical immunoresponse. You feel a bit hot, you're a bit stuffy, that's
your
normal.
Arms usually ache a bit.
Yeah, that's normal. Your body's just reacting to it and producing antibodies that it needs if it does encounter that disease again. That's all vaccines do. Now, as for the COVID vaccine, it works slightly differently because of the way COVID mutates. We don't really just inject you with COVID to make you safe
That's
from
what
COVID.
certain people believe.
People-
They believe it's literally like dead baby cells and fucking
Yeah.
COVID, and it's bollocks.
Yeah, people are saying that you can get COVID from the vaccine. They're injecting you with COVID. It isn't true.
Or like nanobots or whatever.
In this case, it absolutely isn't true. This is what's known as an mRNA vaccine. What they've done is they've taken...
could you explain to them why they're not new? Because that bit I need to know, actually. That's... I've forgotten.
They are not...
I think I researched it a while ago, but I forgot.
They are not new. This type of vaccine has been used for other vaccines in the past. Okay? People got really inflamed about this because they saw a patent for this kind of vaccine a couple of years ago.
Well, they claimed it was a patent for the virus, and that's what led them to believe that the virus was man-made or whatever.
Yeah, and it's bollocks.
But it was actually a patent for the vaccine of a new coronavirus.
Because there is more than one coronavirus in existence.
So they kind of used the data from one for the other.
Yeah,
so.
And this is what I mean about people not being able to actually interpret and read studies correctly. This is their problem. They don't know what they're actually reading. And in terms of the way the mRNA vaccine works is you essentially copy a strand of DNA which has been taken, in this case, from a spike protein on the outer layer of the COVID cell. And the mRNA strand of that, just the strand of mRNA, just the genetic data itself is injected into your body. You're not actually being injected with COVID. You're not being injected with fucking, well, anything that's going to kill you, really, unless you have an allergy, which a lot of the times they screen for beforehand.
I was asked, about my allergies.
Yeah.
They people think that they just get you in a building, sit you down, and jab. Like, no, they had to run me through a lot of like questions and stuff, and like, they didn't just throw me a waiver and go, whatever happens, fuck you.
And this
like,
is what I mean. If you want to get a vaccine, but you are apprehensive because you are not sure if you will have an adverse reaction, you can ask.
Oh, that's another thing. Can you explain to them about the myocarditis?
Right,
That's
so
been a
anyway,
thing.
the long and short about the vaccine is you're not getting injected with COVID, you're literally just getting injected with fucking strands of letters and numbers, essentially. Just nucleotides, and they're not going to hurt you. And when you don't get freaked out when you look up the ingredients of a vaccine because they look all big, scary scientific words. They're all really basic things. You can look at the ingredients of an apple and it will look scary.
True, yeah. There's that guy who scared like a bunch of anti-vax types by just listing the ingredients of an apple.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, that shit's so scary."
And it looks scary, but
and they were
it's
like,
an
"Guys,
apple.
it's an apple, though."
Yeah.
Like, made them falls.
And you'll get people who will. There's that quote where it's like,
mind you, you put acid in any description and it's going to sound a bit scary. But then the amount of acids in an apple are actually.
I'm
quite
literally
a lot.
drinking a glass of Coke right now. That has almost the same pH as human stomach acid.
Anyway, carry on. I've interrupted again.
But yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. People will say vaccines aren't healthy. There's that quote of that girl on Twitter who was like, "The vaccine isn't safe for you. Squirt it in your mouth and drink it. Try it, you'll die." And someone was like, "Broccoli is so healthy for you,
Inject
but
it into your veins."
but grind it up and inject it into your veins. Try it, you'll die." This is the point.
Yeah.
Like, things are healthy when consumed in different ways, okay? Small amounts of trace metals are healthy for you. Do I think you should go out and eat a fucking hunk of, like, iron just as it is? Probably not. You know?
Yeah, like I made jab earlier. Like, you wouldn't have just stuck that in my fucking mouth, would you?
No,
It
I
has
would.
to be-
Yeah,
It has to be intramuscularly dealt with.
Yeah,
like,
Yumi has
to be slow release.
Yumi has to take, obviously, testosterone blocker
If I took
injections.
that all at once, it would fucking kill
And
me.
if she were to drink it, yeah, it probably wouldn't be good for her, but because it's been injected, it's fine.
Anyway, so yeah, myocarditis.
As for the myocarditis, right, the fucking problem with this.
Everyone says it's like a big thing with vaccines.
People
Everyone's getting it.
People are saying
Why is that bullshit?
this again is a matter of people not being able to fucking interpret data correctly because they aren't trained how.
One thing I find specifically weird is like everyone says like, "Oh, you get myocarditis," and the data shows that everyone who got it died, but that's actually not true.
No, it's
Like, you're literally looking at like 2% of the people that described having myocarditis after a vaccine. A lot of them just had like minor heart palpitations. It wasn't even like life-threatening. It was just
But yeah,
any kind of stuff that I get heart palpitations. They're fuck all.
This again is a matter of people not having the training to be able to interpret things correctly. They look at the word myocarditis and they think it's very scary, when really it just means heart palpitations, and you get those when you get a bit fucking nervous, okay? Like, I have an anxiety disorder.
I had them right before we started streaming.
I have an anxiety disorder. I have to take beta blockers because I get heart palpitations that are caused by my own fucking brain. All right? You know, that's not even a physical thing. That's just my brain telling me, you're scared. I'm going to fuck with you. You know?
Yeah.
And people are freaking out saying, oh, it's really scary. It's going to fuck with your heart.
Can I remove Lynn by now?
Yeah, you can remove
yeah,
Lynn. You
cheers.
can remove Lynn. She's in the way. She's blocking our gorgeous faces that I drew.
Fuck off, Lynn.
Shameless plug. Check out my Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Art by rmz.insta. So, yeah.
There is also a link tree in my Instagram bio. But anyway.
Carry on.
Myocarditis. The thing is, the amount of people who have received myocarditis from the vaccine is fuck all. The reason people are confusing it is because they're saying that myocarditis is actually really common. Lots of people have it. But the difference between myocarditis as a general thing being very common to myocarditis being caused specifically by the COVID vaccine, they are not the same. Myocarditis is a symptom of a lot of different fucking things. Lots of different medications. Lots of different physical and mental health disorders. It is very, very common as a general thing. But people are confusing that with how often it's caused by the vaccine. They're different fucking numbers from different fucking sets. The amount of myocarditis caused by the vaccine is, God, I think it was...
If you want,
Hang on.
If there's graphical data I can get up for you.
It
on
was...
the screen.
I did have it. It's like 1 in 2... It's like 1 in 2 million, something like that.
1 in 2 million...
I can't remember exactly what it was. It might have been like 10... No, it was 10... It was 10 in 2 million, so it's like... So, yeah, it's really complicated, but...
No, if it helps people understand exactly, this is Google Images.
Yeah, why are you on the images?
Yeah. Save Kovac. Yep.
1 in every 2 million,
UK.
I can see it, yeah.
So, you know, we're going to simp for the gov.uk. Antivaxxers will always tell you, oh, gov.uk, you're going to take it from state sources. Yes, I am. Fuck you, you nutcase.
Are you asking me if I'm going to take medical
am I
data
gonna trust
straight
the
from the
professionals?
NHS?
Am I going to trust the professionals? Oh, yes, I will.
Or am
yes,
I going to trust fucking Jenny on Facebook? No, thank you.
Right. You know, do you remember they asked us to, like, trust the scientists on the fringes? And then one of them turned out to be somebody who believed that we were, like, homosexuals were literally fucking the devil. Do you remember?
Yeah.
That was that woman that... Do you remember?
Yeah, she's a
weird middle-aged woman, and she was like going nuts about like having sex with demons and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, wow, you've got a hell of a medical license.
Yeah, she's a nutcase.
For those claims.
Yeah, I remember. Unfortunately, I don't remember her name. All I know is that she was a black lady.
There is no images. Unfortunately, it's just kind of saying everything you've already said, but in larger detail. So.
But yeah, so I believe the number that I had at the time, it might have changed because you know new data comes in all the time, was 1 in 2 million.
Yeah, these anti-vaxxers normally. They point this data out and they kind of just like I still see shit on their like on their like propaganda or whatever that has like stats from like fucking 2 years back.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, shit's changed
Stats
since then.
changed.
You can't hold that statistic up and say that everyone's dying because of something else.
The only time you should bring up that
when
statistic
those numbers
is for
have violently
comparison.
changed since then, and it's not even the same variant, so you can't use that data. Especially not in conjunction with the vaccine, because obviously it's not the vaccine doing that, it's the fucking virus.
But yeah, this is people just confusing general data because they've probably Googled how common is myocarditis, rather than how common is myocarditis caused by the COVID vaccine.
Basically,
they're confusing the two.
Basically, in a nutshell, of the 100%, well, let's say no. How many people would you say percentage-wise have been vaccinated in Britain? I think it's like into about a third. Right?
I can Google it. Do you want fully vaccinated or at least one dose?
I fucking hope that we're about like 70% at least. It's just so I can make a point about like how many people actually have myocarditis, and of those lot, how many people have fatal myocarditis.
All right, in the UK alone, we have had 138 million doses given. And out of those people, 48.3 million are fully vaccinated, which is 71.8% of the UK population.
So of the 71%...
call it 72, round
people who reported myocarditis symptoms is likely to be like 3%. And of those 3%, only about 0.2% of them had myocarditis that actually threatened their lives. And most of them would have been elderly people. So basically... the chances of you going to get a vaccine and then having something like that happen are astronomically low.
Yeah.
We're talking decimals.
Pretty much.
We're talking 0.1. You know, just certainly nobody in my no one I've heard of around here has had any issues with the vaccines. You know, not that I know many people, but like, you know, if there was something going on, I would have probably known about it by now. You know.
Sorry, I'm just searching something.
Okay. I think we're done with that topic. So all in
Get
all,
vaccinated.
so yeah, shalom.
Shut up.
Give your Jewish mates a kiss, you know, or whatever, a hug, you know, shake their hand. We need love right now, you know, especially because anti-Semitism seems to be creeping its way back into like the world, you know. Would you agree there? It definitely seems like it's you know, right wing sort of shit is like creeping back into the mainstream.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's getting horrible.
And you know, wherever right wing arseholery comes, this sort of crap always follows. You know, the just asking questions people, and often if you let them ask their questions, it's sort of like the bigotry of tolerance. You know, if you let them just ask their questions, certain ideologies will creep into view. And if you let these ideologies reach their logical end, history will repeat itself. And anyone with half of a brain knows that we shouldn't let that happen. There's no justifiable reason to have the same thing happen again.
Anyway, this is...
Even one is too many.
I just wanted to bring up the most recent stat for the myocarditis thing. This is specifically in the UK, mind. The 1 in 2 million is more of a worldwide thing, so this is UK specific, so bear that in mind. That's why it's different. Okay, don't fucking freak out. It's 29 cases per 1 million people, and none of those had an increased risk of death or cardiac arrest.
And there you go, from the expert's mouth. By the way, I should notify everyone, I've made a bit of a schoolboy error because I don't know, because I've literally got the word Holocaust Remembrance Day on the screen right now. I'm kind of making this all about particularly the Holocaust, but today is actually also like a day where we sort of recognise lots of other genocides, not just the Holocaust, because as we all know, the Holocaust wasn't the last time that fascists like fucked with people. It's happened again. In fact, it's happening right now as we speak. Certain parts of China,
Canada,
for example,
America.
Canada, yes, America, you know, and arguably us too, because we fucking hate migrants and we'd rather watch them drown in the Channel, you know, which could be argued as a form of genocide, just by the act of not helping them.
We also have a class genocide in this country. Our country is really trying to kill poor people.
Well, same as America.
People,
they've got a medical genocide going on.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And they've
same
had it going
thing,
on for decades.
People don't see these things as genocide, but that's kind of what it is.
So basically, today is like a recognition of the world needing to. We need the heroes, you know, the good people in the world, and history has shown us that rich, wealthy people don't tend to solve problems. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. So sometimes it takes like your average individual to be a hero, you know, just your guy, just your normal dude or woman or they or whatever. Sorry, I'm kind of woking myself out here, but like, you know what I mean.
Person.
Your average Joe, whether they be male, female, or whatever, old or young, from wherever in the world, sometimes it takes these small acts to just change history, and we get a lot more done that way. So
I think the thing that really fucks with me most about today, in terms of the Memorial Day,
well, for a lot of other people, it's just another day. They won't even know it's Holocaust Memorial Day.
Yeah,
or any other Holocaust, any other what's it called day? You know, like genocide remembrance day, as it were.
My thing with it is that this Memorial Day in particular, in terms of Holocaust Memorial Day, is one where they will always, like, they will market this as a never forget, let's never do this again, but we're still doing it, and that's what gets me the most.
They act like oh, that happened, but it's okay because we're not doing it anymore.
But they are. That's the problem.
But it's like, I mean, we're not just outright taking like millions of people and sticking them in a fucking gas chamber. But
no, but like, let me put it this way.
we're not actually that good. And some other countries are doing like exactly that.
Yeah, like let me put it this way.
And let's not forget a couple of years ago, if you remember. I promise I'll finish in a bit. The fucking Armenian genocide. If you remember that, yeah, the Armenian
one that
genocide.
people say doesn't exist.
The fucking remember there were where was it? Chechnya, where they were just killing all the gay people, just like fucking yeah. So this stuff happens on a daily basis all around the world, you know. So we can't just act like today's special in a way. It is because of the Holocaust particularly, but to have any real effect at stopping things like this happening again, we need to treat every day like it's Remembrance Day. We need to remember that the world can get this bad if we're not fucking careful. Sure. Anyway, carry on.
But yeah, my point is, the thing, it fucks me up the most, especially countries like our country, the UK. We will market this, and also, you know, like World War II Remembrance Day and things like that. We market it as a
Some people think these two things are the same thing: Holocaust Remembrance Day and World War II Remembrance.
No, they're not.
You know.
And I'm glad they're not, actually.
Mind you, I do actually. I don't know if this is problematic of me, but I do kind of like celebrating D-Day because it's the day that we came and we gave those fascists a good thrashing.
It's just a shame that we.
And it was a gay guy, fascists. And it was a gay dude.
Alan Turing.
He's the only reason we were able to do that. And yeah, okay, our government castrated him and led him to suicide. But before they fucked up, we had like a good chap, like breaking codes and like fucking the Nazis up. So we're capable of great things when we're unified.
But yeah, my problem with this is countries like our country in America marketing it as a never forget, let's never do this again, let's never have this atrocity again, and then we'll be doing arms deals with Saudi Arabia to be genociding Yemenis people. We'll be doing arms deals with the Israeli government to genocide Palestine. This is my fucking problem. They will. No.
Welcome to chat. It's done that twice now.
Yeah. They will market this as let's never do it again, whilst literally giving arms to countries that are committing genocide, and that is the fucking problem.
Yeah, this is like your typical sort of international hypocrisy.
It is.
It's your geopolitics, you know. He's a bastard, but he's our bastard. You know.
Yeah. Again,
like I said earlier about, you know, the Americans and the Mujahideen used to be pals because they wanted to stop communism from you know. Because they were really scared that communism was going to take over the world and everything, so they basically teamed up with the Mujahideen to take out the Russians. Same with Vietnam, you know, the Vietnam War was all about like the fear of communism coming, and it didn't really do any good because communism wasn't going to happen anyway. I don't know how Vietnam feels about communism today, but they seemed okay for a while.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is that problematic? Am I making a really big yikesy statement there?
I don't know.
Because there was recently that thing with Luna and American Johnson on YouTube.
I have no idea.
And I stayed out of it because, you know, I mean, I do kind of agree with her, but I'm not going to start throwing shit at everyone else, you know.
Yeah, you know, you've just brought up another example as well. It's like, never forget, let's never do this again. America literally
I'm an idealist.
America literally goes and has a war in the Middle East. We literally invade Iraq. Like, this is the fucking problem.
Yeah, this is it.
We say let's never do it again whilst frequently fucking doing it.
We're not that much better than the people that were doing the Holocaust. Let's be real.
True.
Like, some countries.
America in particular.
Historically, we've been just as evil, you could argue.
America fucking loves to commit a genocide and destabilize a country.
I'm kind of done saying sorry that I'm white, so moving on.
She's just being edgy.
I can joke about it because it's funny. I don't like. Other people take their race seriously and they're called like fascists. I really don't. I can poke fun at myself and who I am. Obviously I take shit like fascism seriously, but like, you know, I'm down with like racial humor, provided it's done in the right way. You don't punch up, you punch. Like, so you don't
punch down, you punch up.
You punch up, yeah. That's sorry. I was about to say something really fucking yikes.
You nearly fucked it.
I nearly.
Dyslexia.
I would have been cancelled. Anyway.
Is this our final segment for today? Because I don't
this
remember
is probably
having anything else to talk about.
Shit. Hang on.
You fucked it. Ooh.
Don't worry, we're not screen sharing. It's fine. Not that anything was on screen that was bad there. Yeah, our thingy is we're just throwing it right in your face. We're just ramming our sexuality into your face.
Shoving it down your throat, as they say.
And that's the trans flag. Look at that. Look at that. Gaze at it. Get angry.
Can we just...
Get fucking angry.
Do you know, here's something I wanted to talk about, right?
The agenda.
I know it's like a low-key...
The agenda is coming. Sorry.
I know it's like low-key a side note, but can we talk about the fact how the LGBT community has spent forever trying to, like, you know, step away from cis heteronormative stuff, and yet the lesbian flag is pink because it's for girls, and the gay flag is blue because it's for boys.
Yeah, we haven't got a TERF segment on tonight, so we're not doing that, but we will. We will have a TERF special. It's going to be cool. We're going to do Katie Montgomery's thing. We're just going to have, like, TERF wars. But it won't be as good as hers, because her TERF wars are, like, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them up for a while. I assume she's taking a break, because TERF wars is pretty brutal on the brain.
There is only so much.
She has to look through a lot of horse shit.
As you know, I deal with TERF very frequently.
I couldn't deal with half the shit Katie puts up with. Like, I would just fucking crumble. Like, I'm not that strong.
It's taxing. It really
Katie
is.
just, like, she's made of tough stuff. Anyway, this is a trans flag because right, transition news, transition update, if you will. So how far are we with the meds?
Her tits are huge.
Yes.
She has got some of the best
I'd let you have a look if YouTube wasn't so, like, frugal with, like, stuff. But
she's got some of the best breast.
Actually, you can see it in an older video, but, like, that video was, like, way before, like, the changes started happening, so they were just kind of man boobs at the time.
Yeah, that was when YouTube still thought you were a boy, so let you.
But I can't get away with that shit now because I look way too female.
Yeah, she's got big.
I don't sound like one, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, she got tig old bitty. She's having her laser hair, which is doing really well. She's got a fat ass.
Okay.
You do that.
Sorry, my head just, like, you know.
She gets embarrassed.
Yeah, today we did the testosterone blocker shot, so that's...
Yeah.
I don't know, that's not interesting. You don't care about that. Anyway, I'm doing something called speech and language therapy. And we're about to run you through what I do to hopefully one day sound like an anime waifu. And you will join us on this epic quest towards ultra femininity.
Facts.
Okay, so I'll go and get some water and we'll begin.
Yeah, because I don't have any water, so...
Yeah.
Good. Sorry, we're in such a way that she has to climb over me to get up off the sofa.
People in chat tonight, please.
Well, no, but it doesn't really matter. Did you need a glass that big?
Fuck off. If there's anyone who does want to pop in to try and ask a few questions, I would do so now, because we're probably only going to be another 20 minutes at most. Because this is our final segment. So if you've got any last requests, then do so now. Because once we're done with this, we're pretty much signing off and... yeah.
Eating some food.
Pretty much. Okay, so... according to my appointment the other day, basically the way I viewed female voices was completely wrong, because I used to think it was all about pitch. You just have to sound like this. Whereas really, now I understand that's stupid, because you just sound like fucking Mickey Mouse out of South Park, you know.
Don't. Fucking Disney are going to sue us.
Oh. I think I just heard Xi Jinping. Coming over the horizon. No, that's not. That's Winnie the Pooh, isn't it? Sorry. That joke kind of failed. So I used to think it was all about pitch, but it's actually not. It's about resonance too. So the pitch is usually the front of your throat. That's where you control your pitch. How you control your resonance is at the back of the throat, right near the Adam's apple. So basically, I've learned how to sort of separate different techniques, how to use both, because apparently you have to use both in tandem. You can't just work on your pitch without your resonance, because then you'll sound like I do now. Yeah, because men speak very forcefully and sort of like very intense, very deep, pretty much like how I sound now. Women sound a bit softer. I'll hopefully sound like that after I've done the exercises. Sometimes I go into like a weird, like, moment where I can sound perfect.
Yeah, yesterday in the shower she had a moment.
Yeah, I had a moment. That was really cool. For about 5 minutes, and then I went right back down to male voice. But it's okay. I've been doing this for 5 days.
Actually.
They did tell me that it'd be gradual, and if I've achieved this after like 5 days or a week, then I think things are going to be pretty good. Your fucking things have popped up. So
they can't see it.
And Dion's going to join me with these exercises. So we have 2 random parties.
She's going to embarrass me on the internet.
So, which one should we do first? Pitch or resonance?
Aren't you going to tell them about the thing that you
do? The trill.
Yeah. I can't do it, so I'm not even going to try.
For people that, because there's 3 different ways of doing it. You can sing, you can go, ah, or you can hum, or you can, like trill, which is like where you do like a motorboat with your mouth, sort of like, and then you can rise the pitch up and down, like, or that kind of thing. And that's easier said than done. I've heard some people have trouble doing the trill.
I can't do it.
But it's fine because you've got 3 different methods. You can do trill, hum, or full blown out Mariah Carey. It's fine. So, which method do you prefer?
You do your trill thing first.
Trill thing.
Well, you just did it actually, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm
we'll do pitch.
I'm warming up.
We'll do pitch.
My throat is really sore because I've been talking for the last 2 hours nearly.
Yeah,
so
this may not go down as well.
It'll be fine. Well, it's actually an hour and a half, so I think we'll be ending a bit early tonight.
Well, we covered what we wanted.
Okay. We'll do the hum.
Hummy.
Okay, so what you do is you gradually raise your pitch and then you relax because it's supposed to stretch the vocal cords. That's why we have to do this every morning and every night for a couple of minutes. It's to get the vocal cords used to handling a higher pitch and a higher resonance eventually. Okay, so we start with a mid to low tier hum, so sort of like your average male range of voice. So, 1, 2, 3. You were a bit too high.
I have a higher voice than you.
Touché. I stand corrected. Okay, mid-range. Now we're going to your lower range, my higher range. So we sort of meet in the middle. Okay.
My lower range?
Yeah, because you're female. Well, you're AFAB. So. Okay. Okay, and now for beast mode, we are going to go high range, so like way up in head voice, pretty much. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I don't know if anyone in chat's following this, but you will feel your chords are a lot freer, but also you'll feel that they're a bit sort of stretched. You know, like after you've done like some weightlifting and you feel like a bit of an ache because you're not used to it. That's how it should feel. That's how I felt for the first couple of days. I'm getting used to it now, though.
When exercising, that's actually caused by lactic acid buildup. Just a fun fact.
Right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to say hi to the cats. Wait for it. This is a thing, right? We'll find a picture of a cute cat. Because we've got this cat called Suki, and Dion has this way of saying hi to Suki.
I do.
We don't have a picture of Suki on the laptop, do we? No?
I do, but they're in a folder. That,
oh, yeah.
You know,
probably best not to.
So.
Bear with me, getting there. This one's cool, right? You like?
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, cutesy cat.
That's a cute cat.
We should do a cat ranking one of these days.
Suki is number 1.
Yeah, cat's in there. The cat is in the bag. So we're going to put the cat next to the trans flag, and we're going to hope that like no one assumes that we're up to like weird, like
furry shit.
Sexual furry shit, because like people think trans people are like the worst. Like we just make everything weird. Apparently, it's fine though. There we go. Apologise if the cat's like just appeared massive. Okay, so this is a cat. Most of you know this. And some of you all have that thing where you say hi to the cat and you go really high pitched. Now to do resonance, you have to go right to the back of the throat. and you go like a humming, but straight up into your head voice, like. Now, at the back of your throat, you'll feel it. You'll feel your cords sort of like light up. By the way, I'm not an expert. I should point out at this point that I'm literally reiterating the information that was given to me by a guy called Chris, who works at the Nottingham Clinic. Cool. So, yeah. I'm not going to give his full name. I don't. You know.
No, I didn't say.
But yeah. So that's resonance. So if you watch all this back, that's something that you can also do. If you, I don't know, if nobody's giving you voice training and you've found nothing else on YouTube that helps, maybe I'm the one who's suddenly been able to get through and help you out somehow. If not, then I'm sorry. I'm still a beginner myself.
True.
More importantly, has my voice changed a bit? Do I sound a bit more feminized?
As of right now, or as an overall thing from the past week?
No, as in right now, this second. Do I sound softer?
A little bit.
More high-pitched?
Not as much as yesterday in the shower, but a little bit.
Yes. So this gradually does work. You've just got to put the time in. So that's it. We're done saying hi to the cats. Should we say hi to the cats one more time? 1, 2, 3. There we go. We've done the transsexual saying hi to cats.
But yeah,
thing.
no, that is genuinely how I talk to my cat. When she comes into the room, I'm like, you okay, Papa?
Yeah, and that's the trans update. I'm doing that, and I hope that soon, when we stream, I will sound a lot different. And now for the final segment, we're just going to talk about what we're doing. What plans do we have? What's coming? Not on stream, I mean in our lives, like in real life. YouTube is nothing really compared to the real life.
I'm studying, as always, and it's really annoying. It's taking all my time, but it's kind of fun.
We're still looking for a house.
We are, in fact, still
Still
looking
not
for
successful, because, you know,
landlords are
that's how it is, yeah.
Abolish landlords. Fuck them.
Okay. We're socialists, by the way, just to...
We are, actually, yeah. I don't just have, like, a... Well, I do actually have, like, a complete disdain for landlords. I shouldn't lie about that. I do.
I never used to, but now I do. I don't know. I've been taken through the ringer a few times. We'll talk about it someday. I think I've mentioned it actually on stream before.
What else?
About the mold problem I used to have with the old landlord.
Next month I've got like 700 Pokemon cards coming. Because I pre-ordered 2 Brilliant Stars booster boxes, so that's
Brilliant Stars is on the way. 72
booster packs, and there's a further 9 booster packs because I bought 2 triple blister packs for Brilliant Stars that are also on pre-order. So yeah, I spent a lot of money, but it's gonna be fun. And that's about it for me at the moment. There's Valentine's Day coming. We're going to just be doing...
Oh, yeah.
We're just going to be doing couple shit.
We just usually do, like, I don't know, it's kind of become a ritual. I'm pretty sure we talked about this on stream before, but we do Pizza Hut. Yeah. We watch films. By the way, I got Dion into Star Wars.
She did.
So...
Hot Flex.
We did the prequels for... I know people usually watch them, like, you know, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then 7, 8, 9, or whatever. We did them in actual order. So we watched them, like, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then the original trilogy. And now we are about to watch... I think it's The Last Jedi, the middle one. Basically, we just finished The Force Awakens.
We did.
I am prepared for The Last Jedi being really bad. I've heard it's really bad. Although... it's a rare case of, like, a film being called bad by not just, like, right-wing fucking, you know, nerd erotic and the cunts just like that.
On topic, Brie Larson was fucking right, and y'all owe her a fucking apology. Most movie critics are, in fact, white men who hate women and minorities. She was fucking right.
Nice. But yeah, so I don't think, I think The Last of Us... No, sorry, The Last of Us?
The Last Jedi.
Freudian slip. The Last Jedi. It's one of those rare cases where the film is probably going to be bad, because I've heard, like, everyone from, like, JXE, you know, the YouTuber, Empress of Milk. I've heard them say that it sucks. They made, like, a massive long video about how bad it sucks. I can't remember the finer points, but I remember being persuaded about it being bad, because video essays tend to do that. It's difficult for me remembering, but although. And yeah, you've got the usual, like, I don't know, nerd erotic and all those kind of, you know, the boys, quotation marks. Those kind of channels will just kind of tell you that it's got a black man in and a Asian lady and diversity higher.
Yeah.
We watched The Force Awakens and like that's the thing. The right wing channels said that'd be bad. They said it was woke and it was trash and like get woke, go broke. We watched it and I actually had a good time. I didn't see too many problems with it. It wasn't amazing, but I don't think there being like a black guy in there really harmed it. I don't think the Asian woman wasn't even in it. I don't think. I don't remember her being in yet. I think she's in the last Jedi. And I don't think Rey is a bad character. At least not in The Force Awakens. I remain to be shown what she's like in the other two films, but although I am a bit sad that spoilers. I can't say it. I can't because people might not have seen it.
Yeah.
They might have done though. It was like fucking 6 years ago.
Don't know. People will get mad, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Okay. One particular scene made me feel really bad. You know what scene I'm on about, right? The scene in The Force Awakens. You've seen. We watched
which
it.
One?
Don't be a twat.
There's a few sad scenes.
The scene where a certain guy.
Whisper it to me. Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yes, that was sad. This mic's like probably really good. It probably picked that up. But yeah, so that's Star Wars.
I'll play it back and listen for it.
So yeah, the full trifecta. Dion's now into Power Rangers. They are into James Bond, to a degree.
I don't hate James.
Not very much Sean Connery, but we've got her on side with.
I like Daniel.
We've got them on side.
I like Daniel Craig and Timothy.
I'm doing
Dalton.
it way too often. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I told you I'm fine with any.
Timothy Dalton, I think, is your favourite Bond.
Yeah.
Mine tends to fluctuate between Pierce Brosnan
and
Roger Moore a bit. Yeah, I kind of like Roger Moore. Although I love Timothy Dalton too. I mean, we both share like the position that Sean Connery is like the least favourite. I don't know. Either that or better. George Lazenby. Although, that's the thing. I don't rate him as Bond too much because he was only in one film and he's not actually really an actor. Like, he got into that job by accident kind of thing. He kind of just got in there by luck. But On Her Majesty's Secret Service is a wonderful film. I do love the film. So... Anyway, we will do a Bond stream. We'll do a full fucking like ranking and everything because we've done Doctor Who. We need to do Bond.
She wants to do Star Wars.
But yeah, I'm getting Dion into all of it. Tonight, actually, we're watching season 5 of Glee. I know that we keep popping in bits of Glee.
I wanted to watch Star Wars, but she doesn't.
Every time we stream, we seem to talk about like what's going on in Glee at the moment.
Because you're always making me watch Glee.
When we were playing
Glee for like over a year.
When we were playing Harry Potter, the game, the last Let's Play stream, we were talking about like the end of like season 3, I think. Like we just finished season 3 and we were starting season 4. Now we've finished season 4, we're heading into season 5. As many of you know, if you're a fan of Glee, season 5 is like the weakest, but it leads up to like a really good like season 6. I like season 6. Season 6 is good, in my opinion.
I lie.
What?
I lean.
Oh, okay. So that's what's happening in what we're watching. Also, I'm planning on doing a video where I look at my complete record collection. That'll be around about the same time as we do fucking Zoo Tycoon. We've had that planned for a while. We will do it eventually. It's kind of up in the air because we can't really promise anything right now because we're only humans at the end of the day and we have like lots of stuff going on besides.
And we don't live in the same house.
True, yeah. But yeah, those are the plans, and it'll either all happen in that order or it'll be out of order. But that's what's coming down the pipeline.
It's gonna happen. At some point, it's gonna happen.
And I'm all done. So before I start rambling, we will head off.
Yes.
Yes.
We are going to go.
We will.
It is dinner time.
So yeah, like I said, I hope you had a great Christmas and a New Year, and I hope
any other holiday.
Everything's going well for you, and I hope you've got somebody to keep you company this Valentine's Day. But if you haven't, then fuck Valentine's Day. It is just a corporate holiday anyway.
True. I mean, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. Okay, so good night, everybody. We will see you again in a couple of weeks or in a month or whenever. Okay?
Bye-bye.